Hi, this is Paul Friedman. I'm founder of the Marriage Foundation, and in this video, I'm going to read an actual counseling request that we got, I don't know, maybe 7-8 years ago. And then I am going to paste it in the section of the description because it's very long. I glanced at it, but I want you to know I didn't read it. I want you to know that I'm going to respond to this for the first time because this was handled by counselors, and you're going to get the benefit of how I go through a counseling request. This is a very interesting thing, but let me know how you like it and put that in the comments, and of course like the video and subscribe to the channel. But let me read it. Oh my God. Okay, so bear with me. We got married 2 weeks after him coming into the States as requested by USCIS. Everything was a perfect fairy tale for both of us. These days, I find we go 2 to 3 days without arguing or fighting at the longest. If we're lucky, 1 week. I have a multitude of health issues, including type 1 diabetes, for 30 years. Cardiac arrhythmias, did I pronounce that right? I had a stroke and just found out I have orthostatic hypotension, not enough blood flow to my brain. By the way, I'm 35. My husband is 37. He works full-time but refuses to have anything jointly. I am on Social Security and cannot work, and I have 3 daughters from previous marriage/relationship. Their ages are 16, 13, and 9. My 16-year-old lives with us, and my other 2 live with my mom because of my health issues. My 16-year-old has spoken up during arguments and gives him reality checks. How can you treat my mom like this after everything she's done for you? He is unappreciative. He's not strong in his faith. He gets angry very easily. Talks on his phone outside, leaves the room if I enter, does his own laundry and dishes. It's more like I have a roommate than a husband. I feel like he's a different person than the man I brought here. I don't like this person or trust him, and he tells me if I leave him, he will take me to court. He records our conversations and arguments in secret and tells me he will use them against me. Sounds to me like he has a plan. Yet when I ask him if he wants to be with me and loves me, he answers yes to both questions. His promise to me for bringing him here was to spend the rest of my life making me happy. My father was physically abusive. My ex-husband cheated on me and did drugs. And my ex-boyfriend of 8 years with a daughter together is and was married, living a double life. I left the country to find true love with my husband. I think I won't leave because I'm living in hopes that our life will be the way it used to be. I mean, how do dreams that come true shatter before your very eyes? I truly love this man, and I have never fought so hard for anything or anyone in my life. Of course, I would like my marriage to work out, but I feel that emotionally we are so far detached that I'm starting to have hate in my heart for him. I can't live this way. I don't know if this is a cultural thing or a religion thing. I'm a born-again Christian, and he was born and raised Muslim. He only prays at his convenience and is what some call more a Ramadan Muslim. His religion is not an issue to me. It's that he has changed, and I've never felt more alone. He refuses marriage counseling, and he told me my and told my doctor I have behavioral issue, so my doctor is sending me to a mental specialist. He will shut down and not communicate, sometimes for days. We won't speak a word to each other. He's supposed to support me. I feel he's against me in every way, emotionally and mentally. He has packed his things and threatened to leave 3 times now within a 4-month period. Obviously, he has somewhere to go, and he's always telling me he will do what he wants, when he wants, and with whom he wants, having no respect for our marriage. I do know 100% that he's not cheating on me. I was his first relationship and his first everything. He lived at home until he left with me. That's the Algerian way. I just need to know, what can we do to fix our marriage? How can we, when it's gone too far? Is it worth trying to fix? Please help. So, the first reaction that anyone would have to this is to tell her to leave. But I recognize that my mind is I like to protect people. It's my nature. And she feels like she's in danger, like she has thrown away her life for this man. And it may not be true. I'm sorry to say, but when we get an email like this at the Marriage Foundation, I tell the counselors, read it a few times. See if you could pick up threads that give you an idea of what the person who is writing to you is like, so that when you give a response, you're speaking to someone who you feel you know. And in this case, there are a lot of indicators of a lot of tendencies which she has become accustomed to and feels very comfortable with. And her struggle to get out of that mentality that she knows she has of being victimized is a very difficult one, because we live in a world now where we're supposed to honor our emotions, and we're not supposed to honor our emotions. We are supposed to recognize that emotions are part of the mind's mechanism for handling data and nothing more. So let's pull ourselves way back, and let's look at the fact that we are souls who we're essentially spiritual beings. We're souls. And we have a body and we have a mind, and it's our job to take care of those as best we can. So the body and mind are possessions. They're not our masters. And she has allowed, like most of us have, she has allowed her illnesses and her past to dictate her present state of mind and even her future. And her hope in finding this guy, from the point of view that she had of herself, finding this guy, he was her salvation. He wasn't checked out to see if he was a good man. He was checked out to see if he was willing to make her happy. That's in there, that he said he would make me happy. So we don't know what kind of man he is. I'll ask you, what kind of man takes up with a woman who has so much baggage? Let's be honest, it's baggage. She has children from 2 different men. Both of the men were a-holes. Her father was an a-hole to her. She's got all kinds of physical problems. She's on Social Security. What did he see in her? And so, where do you begin helping? I'm not going to use her name even if I can find it. Oh, I found it. How do you help her? Well, first off, she needs to learn how to gain control over her anger, her resentment, and her reactions, which are habitual. It's easy to blame him as the trigger, but it isn't how the mind works. The mind works according to what we have gotten used to, because we're not taught to train our minds. Her mind is out of control. She reacts explosively, naturally. He's going to react back. Doesn't matter who started the fight. Probably, some of the time at least, she has expressed expectations which put him on the spot, and he reacts, and he's a man without control over his mind, so he uses anger as his weapon. And he knows her weaknesses, so he tries to scare her. So the first step for her is to step back from her mind. Really, the course for women that we have, the whole first section is all about learning how to gain control over the mind so that you can be peaceful, happy, together. Learn how to not be whipped around by the mind's triggers. There's probably other ways to gain control over the mind. I'm not sure of any. When I started doing this, that was the second place I went to. The first place was just, okay, how do you make each other happy? How do you avoid making each other miserable? Which is what most courses are out there. But I realized pretty fast, because my first client came back and said, Paul, this stuff is great, but sometimes I can't control myself. And I go, oh, okay. And so I developed the SO technique, which is stop, evaluate, act with wisdom. So you can learn how to leverage your willpower and your volition and control the mind that's been controlling you your whole life. Everyone is a victim of their mind in this world. So that's her first step, so that she can decide whether he will come around based on a positive environment for him. Chances are he'll be fine. He's a spoiled kid. I don't know how else to put it, but he's spoiled. He wants everything his way. That's fine if that's fine for her. Why not? Who cares? We're not here to tell people how to behave, but she needs to learn how to have her relationship with him at the level of love. The expectations are causing arguments and disharmony. So she has to get above that. Without that, there's literally nothing we could ever say that will help her. It does happen when some people write in and they want help, that the only solution is the course for women or the course for men, because their marriage is so far off track because they are so bashed around by their minds. So that's it. I'm curious what you would say. And, please don't go along with your first reaction. Give it some thought the way we do here. I'd love to hear from you and see what you think would be the right response. But my response would be to suggest to her that she has to, as a first step, gain control over her emotions, over her reactions, and see what happens. I think they could live a loving, harmonious life if she does that. I really do. Not everybody wants fairness, and you shouldn't want fairness in your marriage. Not everybody wants a man who's going to go off and work and, do the man thing and all that. Everyone's different. And we have to be respectful of everyone without judging them. So that's it. Like this video, leave a comment, please. I really want to get your feedback. And I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and thank you for tuning in. Take care.